back to another day. Oh, the camera does work. Look at that. We just have to fix it now. It literally broke right before stream. So give me a second. I have to. There we go. Look at that. Bright and sunny. There we go. What's going on, chat? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. Give me a second. I'm just trying to get this temperature, and there we go. There we go. All right. How's everyone doing? I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show for the Daily Grind, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 6 reportedly already costs $960 in materials to manufacture. We're going to talk about PlayStation hardware crashes to its lowest May numbers in 25 years. We're going to talk about Xbox console sales in May were also the lowest ever in record. We're going to talk about Nintendo has raised its employee base salary by 10%, so one of these things is not like the other. We're going to talk about Xbox has reportedly suspended adding third-party games onto Game Pass. We're also going to talk about Battlefield 6 dev on the state of game, addressing fan feedback, and much more. And we're going to be talking about RAM manufacturers have been sued for allegedly fixing prices and supply leading into increased costs. If you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. Let me scroll. Who's all here? We got... Oh, too far. Went too far. Eclipse, good morning. Water Bear, Altern, Sarge, Brain, I already said Eclipse. Just Enough. Jesse Mack, Wonder Rose, good morning. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone is doing great. Hope you had a good weekend. What's going on, Ward? Good morning. Oh, Eclipse, because last week you gave me a $20 super chat and we didn't get to hear it. We got it working.
I'm ready for Grand Theft Auto 6.
There you go. So you got the Grand Theft Auto 6. So we got you. We got you. What's going on, Mo? I also, thanks for the super chat. We got a new super chat thing. So there you go. When the super chat. What's going on, Mr. Z? Because I was like, you know, it actually worked. So I don't know why it didn't speak for you last week. So Mo says, fuck GTA 6. Well, I mean, you can. There's no disc, though, so it'd be hard. You just have to do the box. Just the box. What's going on, Altern? What's going on, Roic? Good morning. All right, let's start off. Let's start off with the PlayStation 6. PlayStation 6 reportedly already cost $960 in materials to manufacture. We have lost... Where's my camera here? Let's slide that. No. Oh, there we go. They've lost the plot here at this point, right, guys? $960, and that's just as of in right now, materials to manufacture. And obviously, by the time the PlayStation 6 comes out, we're talking $1,200, right? Because that's just the cost. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so the PlayStation 6 reportedly already cost around $960 in materials to manufacture, suggesting that the next generation console could be much more expensive than we think. Not us. Not us here. We already know that it's going to be over $1,000. The news comes from Kepler K2, who has previously accurately leaked technical specifications and prices for console parts. Before going any further, though, consider going to their site and following them, or just follow me. PlayStation 6 could cost $1,000 plus, according to Kepler. Bill of materials price for PlayStation 6 has increased by $200 since March of 2026, when it cost $760 to manufacture. A PlayStation 6, which is the price increase $200, it's just a matter of months. It means that PlayStation 6 now reportedly costs $960 to build. But if it isn't the end of it, as many analysts in the tech industry warn that the RAM and SSD prices are yet to soar with no end in sight thanks to AI. I love how AI is the thing, not greedy corporations that are making more money because they have data centers that are 10 times the amount of people that were buying consoles, right? They're making way more money in these data centers across the board that they don't really need to raise the prices, but they're doing it because they know they can. So this is why it's going up. This means that the bills of material on the PlayStation 6 could continue to rise, putting it well past $1,000 mark. Not could, it is. Like, what are we talking about? That means even the PlayStation 6 traditionally is subsidizing the console's cost in favor of software profits. The PlayStation 6 could still cost $1,000 or more, as a console have traditionally been subsidized by only around $100 to $200. That means if by the time the PlayStation 6 releases, which rumors speculate 2027, first of all, this is so stupid if they release a brand new console next year. This goes across the board, right? PlayStation 6, Xbox, right? Obviously, Nintendo has already got theirs out, right? Nobody needs a new console. They can't sell the consoles they have, and yet they're going to springboard into the next one. Amazing. Which is rumored to speculate 2027, but the Insider Gaming couldn't verify. Next generation consoles, at least where the PlayStation 6 is concerned, could cost $1,400 to $1,500 to produce. If you're at these prices, and I get what I'm about to say, you'll be like, well, PCs will cost just as more, right? Sure. But if I'm paying $1,500, then I'm going to pay $1,800, or I'm going to pay $2,000 for a computer that can go way, way more powerful than what they're going to build for the consoles. The $1,000 price point, likely $1,000 for psychological reasons, on the release of the next generation consoles already seem high, but the price of RAM and SSD continues. It could go much higher. At very least, it could also see what is seeing now with the current generation consoles with the constant price increase. How much do you think the PlayStation 6 is going to cost? Let us know your thoughts. Chat, how much do you think the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox, what are they calling? What are they calling the other one? I forget what they're calling it. Helix? I think that's what it's called. Well, I'm thinking it starts at like $1,400, right? It starts at where the Steam Deck's highest one is. So like $1,400, $1,500 is where I think it is. They're completely have lost, Xbox Felix. They have completely lost the plot. What the gaming industry is doing to the consoles and what they're doing to gaming is what the movie industry and the music industry have done to their businesses. They've completely and utterly destroyed physical stuff, right? Nobody wants to go to the movies anymore, right? Even if there is a good movie, it's still less people going to the theater. Why? Because it costs more to go there, okay? Budgets are way too high for the films, right? Music industry, right? Now, more subscription service, right? People are not buying actual physical discs or anything anymore. That's what they're moving towards this. The plot point's already been printed out for them, right? Or I should say the template has already been printed out for them for the movie and in the television and the music industry. Now the video game industry is just falling right into that plan of it. So we go from that to PlayStation hardware crashes to its lowest May numbers in 25 years. Okay? Obviously, when you higher prices, less people buy the consoles. Now, I know people are going to be, Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out, and they're going to sell millions and millions of units. And you're right, there are going to be millions of people that buy a $900 PlayStation. Are they the smartest people? Probably not, because if they were smart, they would have bought the PlayStation when it wasn't $900 and when it wasn't $700. But, so PlayStation hardware crashes to its lowest May numbers. The U.S. video game sales data for May of 2026 are out, and we now know that the PlayStation has experienced its worst May of hardware sales in 26 years. The PlayStation 5 has easily been one of the biggest contenders, especially of the hardware sales, only falling behind the Switch 2 at times. However, it seems that the price increase has not helped the company. No, say it ain't so. The experience's worst May hardware sales since 2000. Before going any further, we're not going to do that. PlayStation experiences the worst May since 2000 for hardware sales. According to the latest sales data, Matt Piscatella, players have received updates on PlayStation's hardware sales on May of 2026. Overall hardware spending increased this month, but the growth was primarily driven by the Switch 2. which is offset significantly of a 43% decline in PlayStation 5, depending on the spending, and a 58% drop in the unit sales, both attributed to the recent price increase. This marks the lowest hardware sales units for PlayStation in May since May of 2000. Now, obviously, May, big time. People go for the summer break, right? They might buy a system. Big games come out during the summer. The Switch 2 has become the best-selling hardware platform for both units in dollars in May and the year-to-date of 2026. The PlayStation 5 ranks second in both measures of time periods, and the sudden dip in the unit sales for PlayStation hardware is due to the latest price increase, which reflects changes in the cost of PlayStation 5 disc drive, digital, and PlayStation 5 Pro. Piscatella also disclosed that the average price of a new unit in the video game hardware reaches $502 in May, a 14% increase over the previous year average of $440 in May of 2026. The average price of PlayStation 5 rose 33% from the previous year, reaching $672, while the average price of the Xbox Series increased by 22%, reaching $524. So, what are your thoughts on the PlayStation sales charts, right, for May? They're not the only one that's the lowest. This all goes together, chat. So, Xbox console sales in May were also the lowest ever in record. The latest U.S. video game sales data revealed the Xbox has just experienced the worst May ever record for hardware sales, which is obviously going back 26 years because Xbox has been around for 25, 26. Hardware sales haven't been particularly kind to either of the console giants in May of 2026, and that's kind of thanks to the price increase. And we all just informed that the PlayStation hardware numbers crashed to its lowest May number of 25 years, and the new Xbox seems to be in a worse boat. I don't know if it could be in a worse boat, considering that Xbox has only sold 28 million units and PlayStation sold 93 million units. I mean, they're already in the worst boat. Right? Xbox May hardware sales were also the lowest in U.S. tracked history. The latest insight of Xbox May 2026 hardware sales in the U.S. came through a new thread by Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky.
Atakuda Papua celebrates 41 months of membership, prices go up, sales go down. Who doesn't understand basic economics and business?
Thank you very much for the continued support of 41 months. Appreciate you, Aku. Yeah, right? Prices go up, sales go down. Everyone's like, no, that's not how that works. It's a saturation point. They just keep going. Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky players have also informed that the Switch 2 has the best-selling hardware for May of 2026 and 2026 year-to-date. PlayStation came in second, and Xbox was last. Well, they've always been last. They haven't changed. However, it was a very bad month for Xbox as the hardware unit sales were the lowest ever record for a May month, and the tracking began in 1995. It says the dip for both console giants are entirely due to the recent price increase caused by shortages of the rise costs of console shortage and memory. Xbox has been announced by price increase for consoles effectively August 1st, raising the price for each model by $100 or more. So it looks like they're going to have a really good sales in August, right? However, that might not be the end, as the console maker expects shortages and memory prices to double by the fall of 2027, which could impact the console prices. What do you mean could? Which could also impact. Yes, it will. Okay, so all of this, right? All of this is just batshit crazy. We've got potentially $1,400 to $1,500 consoles coming out for the next gen. We've got these consoles raising up in price and no one's buying. You could just see the articles coming in the future, right? Where studios are like, well, we can't make money anymore, and more closures are going to happen because they're spending more money on these games. Smaller studios are going to close because people just can't afford the video games. Indie games will thrive because they're cheap, okay? So the people that already own the consoles will purchase stuff. The people that don't own consoles, that are still on the old gen consoles, can't afford the new consoles, which means the new games for the new consoles won't come out because there won't be enough people buying it, because there'll be less and less people buying these next consoles. So let me ask you this, chat. With PlayStation still going with the live service games and not moving their first-party titles over to PC, because obviously they don't want to do that because they want more people to come over to PlayStation, right? How is this going to work out for them, right? How is this going to work out for PlayStation in the future if they don't move their games over to PC? Because less and less people are going to be buying consoles because they're not going to be buying a $1,400, $1,500 PlayStation console. They would rather go to a PC. And if they do that, you can't ask the person, well, you can. They're not going to do it. Most people won't buy a $2,000 PC and then buy a $1,500 console. It's just not going to work. Okay. So here we stand in 2026. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, well, the next consoles will come out and people will buy them and Grand Theft Auto's out and that's what it is. But in the future, more and more studios won't be making games because the pool will be so small, at least in the console market. Okay. And if the consoles are like PCs, then what's the point of buying a console if you could just buy a PC? And if you're only going for the first party titles? Well, if you're going for the first party titles, then let's just say, Wolverine 2 comes out. You got Intergalactic. What was that one called? Intergalactic, I think it was called. Or The Prophecy. You have the next Astro Bot. You have Spider-Man or Venom come out. You have all the first-party titles. God of War, next game comes out. Let's say you have 6 or 7 games, first-party titles for the next PlayStation that you can only play on PlayStation, 6. They're only selling 4 to 5 million copies of the first-party titles now with 93 million people that own the PlayStation. So what's going to happen when the next PlayStation 6 comes out and they can't sell their first-party titles because nobody owns the console? Right? Not that they don't want to play the game, but they can't sell the games right now to 93 million people. Do you think there's going to be 93 million people that are going to be owning a PlayStation 6 at the price point of $1,400, $1,500? Same with Xbox. Do you really think there are only 28 million people that own an Xbox right now? They have their first-party titles. Let's say Fable and all of them come out in the next generation. Fable 2 from Playground Games and Gears of War E-Day 2 or whatever it is. All of these games, Elder Scrolls 6. If no one is buying these $1,500 consoles, no one's playing these games. Meaning, if you're still on this console generation, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X, they're going to have to make those games for this system as well. There is no reason to upgrade from these things because they can't do it. They can try to push their games only on the next systems, but they're going to have to put them on these systems because there's going to be not enough people to make money on the newest systems. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. When is this going to end? When is this going to subside where it comes back down to reality that people are not going to spend money on $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 consoles? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. If you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. What's going on, Ron? Water Bear, Ghost, good morning. Ghost says Helix 1500, PlayStation 6 $999. Well, it's not going to be $999, Ghost. If you probably just walked in, right? But the parts for PlayStation are $960 right now. Right now, for the materials for the manufacturers, $960. So I don't think they're going to charge $999. Just saying. Water Bear says either way, no one is buying either Xbox or PlayStation. Screw that. Sarge says they have to destroy the entertainment sector completely. CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, movies, video games, and everything self-inflicted. Clip says, my ass, the PlayStation 6 is going to be $999. You think it's going to be $100 more than what the Pro? Aku says prices... Oh, we already read that. Altern says, no shit, Sherlock. If you put an expensive piece of entertainment, non-essential item, of course, they will have lower sales. Jason says, my prediction is Sony is going to bring their money back for PlayStation 6 on GTA 6 for marketing rights to pay off the hardware for the new system. Okay, so you think Sony's going to bring the money back into Sony for PlayStation 6 because of GTA 6? I mean, even if, let's just say there's 93, let's just say now after Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, let's just give them an even 100 million units, right? 100 million units for PlayStation 5 for Grand Theft Auto. And let's just say, I don't know, they sell 25 million copies, 30 million copies just on PlayStation. And now they go, oh, well, we're making Grand Theft Auto 6 for the next PlayStation 6. You're still missing 70 million people on the PlayStation that are not interested in that game, not going to buy that game. And then you're going to have the people that buy the next system. They're going to lose their asses on the next system. All these companies are going to lose their ass on the next system, except Nintendo. Because I didn't read this one yet. But Nintendo is the only company giving raises. Nintendo has raised its employees' base salary by 10%. You see the difference between Sony and Xbox and Nintendo, right? Sony has to keep raising the prices because they can't cover their shit. Xbox has to keep raising their prices. Nintendo's barely raising the prices. They're charging $50 more starting, I think, September 1st, right? And they're giving their employees 10% increase of salary, meaning they know what their budget is going into the future because they already made their brand new system. They're not coming out with the Switch 3 next year. They're not coming out with the high-end system for like another 5, 6, 7 years. So they know. Nintendo's very good with their money. They're just ignoring the reality of economic. Lots of these consoles are overpriced bricks now. Yeah, it's gonna be insane. Saint says, what's going on, Saint? Says drug dealer economics. Give them the first few for free cheap, and get them hooked and raise the prices. Ron says mobile gaming in the future. Mr. Luke, what's going on, Mr. Luke? Says, I'll do what I did when the Xbox X came out. I had an Xbox One and waited for the Xbox Xbox fridge. Ghostfire says, yeah, I just got here. Although I do mean it was as a joke. It'd be more around $1,500, I think, is a good morning to you, 30. Yeah, it's definitely going to be, all of them are going to be like, I would say between $1,200 and $1,500 for the new system, based on the prices that are happening right now with these systems that are 5 years old, 6-year-old hardware being charged what they're being charged, and then the new hardware comes out. Obviously, they're going to be high-end. Clip says Nintendo is smart. They're pretty much made it where they are also consoles where you don't expect them to be better. We've had this conversation many times, Eclipse, right? Everyone's going for the graphics, the ceiling, and crazy Uncle Nintendo is just moving right along. They don't care. Mr. Luke says, plus, don't ever buy a movie on the PlayStation because the license that runs out all the time and delete them if you paid for them. I'm glad you brought that up, Luke. I don't have one of those stories today, but I saw what happened over the weekend and how they got rid of 500 movies off of PlayStation. So if you purchased movies of PlayStation on the PlayStation and Sony, you completely lost them. If I was a PlayStation owner right now, right, this is not me hating, right? If Xbox did this or Microsoft did this, I don't buy digital movies, first off. I buy physical movies. I own the DVDs and stuff like that. If they don't make them, then I don't buy them. Okay? I don't own a digital movie. I own physical movies. Then I put in a DVD player, an Xbox, a PlayStation, and I watch my movies. Okay? If I owned a Sony right now, PlayStation, and Sony took my movies away that I purchased, I would never purchase, and this is just me, I'm not being hyperbolic, I would never support Sony ever again. That's me. Okay? If Microsoft did the exact same thing, going forward, I would never support that company ever again because you cannot just take my library that I purchased because of your licensing agreement. What happened with the licensing agreement back in the day, right? Where they had a licensing agreement, I own the movie, but now they can't take it away from me because I own a physical copy. But now because it's digital, they have to stop paying for it and then you lose your stuff. That's criminal. Okay, so from this point forward, I will BitTorrent stuff. Okay, I will borrow it from a person that's putting it on the web because at least then, if they take it away from me, I didn't purchase it. Okay, there's no reason to buy their products anymore because if I buy their product, then they're just going to take it from me. So if they're going to steal it from me, I might as well steal it from them, right? Which I'm not actually stealing. Because someone else that owns the copy has now put it up on the internet for other people to watch, and I'm just borrowing it. It's like him handing me the disc, and I don't have to pay any money. Ron says, buy now, pay later, sign me up. I mean, look at Pokemon. There is no voice acting in the game, and it's the highest money grossing franchise right now. That's crazy. Rourke says, so they want you to buy a very expensive console and won't even have games for it for 5 to 6 years after it. Come on. Get the fuck out of here. That's right. Clip says, and I think how many people bought movies off of PlayStation platform because it's Sony. So they thought they would always keep those because Sony is a movie company. That's right. And if you're a person, I'm not telling you how to spend your money or anything, but you might want to look into it a little bit more. If a company can just take the stuff that you gave them money for, you might not want to support that company. Just saying. Sarge says, how's that different? If I own a physical or digital, how is that different? Well, physical, you own it. They can't come to your house and take it. Digital, they can. Mr. Luke says it's not fun, but a close friend of owned a lot on his PlayStation, and he's going livid. I told him not to back then, and plus the Blu-ray players have gone up 10,000%. What does a Blu-ray player go for? I don't even know what a Blu-ray player goes for right now. New standard Blu-ray player generally costs between $75 and $115. That's not bad. A high-end quality 4K Ultra Blu-ray player ranges from $180 to $550 plus. Okay. That was the only reason people bought a PlayStation 3 back in the day. I'm not sure, Paper, because if you get the disc drive, I don't own a PlayStation 5. If you own the disc drive, is that a Blu-ray disc drive or is that just a standard disc drive? I think it's a Blu-ray, if I'm not mistaken. All right, let's go from that to this, which is, I swear to God, Asha Sharma we trust, right? Asha Sharma we trust. So Xbox has reportedly suspended adding third-party games on Game Pass, insider claims. Now, obviously, as a Game Pass member, okay, my son and I use Game Pass all the time. We've had Game Pass for years because it's great for gamers, terrible for the business. Okay. Xbox has reportedly suspended adding third-party games on Game Pass, insiders claim. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button.
Mars 8052 celebrates 39 months of membership, 39 months. You should have enough for the Helix when I'm 51 months in.
Thank you very much for the continued membership, Water, for 39 months. Appreciate you, man. That's funny. Yeah, by 51 months we should be okay. Okay, so let's read this, shall we? Now, again, this is just a claim. We don't know if this is true yet. We're just reading it, and then we'll give you my thoughts and opinions based on that. Can we make this where? There we go. Oh, jeez, they always do this. There's so much shit on the screen. Whatever. All right, so Game Pass has failed to grow as well as Xbox leadership wanted, even after making its core focus of the business strategy. Last year's 50% price hike also saw millions of gamers leave the service, and the numbers are far from recovering despite the new price drop. Well, you didn't drop it back down to what it was. You still made it $3 more. Therefore, the future of subscription service looks bleak. A new rumor mill now claims that Xbox has seamlessly frozen current and planned contracts to bring more third-party titles to Game Pass. While it matters, freezing contracts to bring in more third-party titles to Game Pass would not only harm the service, but also the independent indie studios that rely on subscription as the core strategy. If true, it's unclear how Game Pass would change in the future. Okay, so this is a tweet. We have a tweet here. We'll go there in a second. It says, according to a known industry insider, Extus1 STV, this controversial halt comes from Xbox reorganizing its Game Pass and entry business strategy moving forward. Supposedly, multiple developers confirmed the tidbit at B2B First Playball trade show in Italy. The signing of a new third-party deals has been frozen for the time, and the titles that also were early negotiations now restricted from coming to Game Pass. It's unclear just exactly when the blockade will also lift from Game Pass, as it also moves into threatens indie developers that rely on the service to promote their games. Okay, the subscription service is expected to undergo a major change in the coming months, with some of them being positive developments to help achieve its 100 million by 2030 milestone. Well, what you're doing right now is not good. If you want to see, this is what they don't tell you. They want 100 million by 2030, but at what price point? You hear what I'm saying? If they want 100 million people by 2030, I mean, we're only about 3.5 years away. Okay, 3.5 years away, and they're at 25, maybe 30. They got 70 million more people to go. How do you think you get to 100 million? You either have to put the value in there without raising the price, right? So just keep it at the 20, 23, whatever it is, and you keep adding more value to that, and people are like, oh, well, you have a lot of games on there, and that's the value. Or you lower the price. You keep exactly what's there now, and you lower the price. And we've had this conversation before, a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. I said the sweet spot for Game Pass is between $13 and $15. $13 and $15. You lower that shit down to $13 to $15, right? I say 13 to 15 because of PC and also console. If you get it to around that point, that is an easy purchase. You don't take any value away. You keep everything that you're doing. You do your first-party games. You do your third-party games. And that number will grow because then people will stop buying games because they don't own the games anyway, and they would come to your service. But now what you're doing is if you're halting the third-party games coming, because there's a shit ton of third-party games that come to Game Pass, which is worth it, okay? But now if you're pausing the third-party games, meaning they've put a roadblock now or a dam up, and now the water's just hitting it, and now we're getting nothing, right? So if you go to Game Pass right now, every single day they put a game on Game Pass. They've been doing that for the last, I want to say 2 months. It's crazy. There's a shit ton of stuff coming to Game Pass. But it makes you wonder if this is plausible or not, because usually when stuff like this happens, you would think, oh, well, because before it was like a slow drip. It'd be like 9 titles for the month. Now, for the last month and a half, 2 months, it's been just bombarding of Game Pass. Well, this is why, right? Because they're bombarding it to put a bunch of stuff on there because they're going to stop it for a bit, which is kind of weird because they could have just kept it slowly at a pace and continued doing it. So it says, rumors have hinted that more flexible Game Pass tiers that lets you decide the feature that you want in a pricing structure, similar to what they have been rumbling of the first-party only Game Pass
Big
tier.
Madmo 4379 celebrates 40 months of membership. I know it's not, but GTA 6 should flop. On another note, got a new half a horsepower meat grinder. TFD 2-year stream on the 2nd, can't wait. October can't come quicker.
Thank you very much for the 40 months. Thank you very much for that, Mo. Appreciate you. Right? So, if they do different tiers in Game Pass, you'll have your first party only type of games, maybe, right? Which is probably the ultimate. Maybe they just do a day and date drop for the first party titles. Maybe they do a third party drop where it's just the third party games. Maybe they're trying to figure out a different mentality or a different structure for these third-party games. So instead of just putting them on, lumping them in, maybe they make an indie section, right? Who knows what they're doing? But to get to 100 million, man, this 100 million milestone by 2030 is unreachable. That's like me right now saying, yeah, I want 1 million subscribers. Well, how am I going to get there? How am I going to get there? I'm not going to get there by just doing 4 morning shows on Thursday, Monday through Thursday. I would have to do 8, 10-hour streams. I would have to do that 6 to 7 days a week for about a year, right? To build up. I would have to put uploads after uploads after uploads to get there, to get the people to come into the channel. You see what I'm saying? I can't just sit here and be like, yeah, I'm just going to get 1 million people by this time frame. You gotta put some more value in there. You got to figure out what you're doing for the price point that you're having at. You can't just be like, oh, yeah, that's our price. How many people do you want on the platform at what price point? Is that $10, 100 million people? Is that $15, 100 million people? Is it at the ultimate price of 100 million people? What what do you want it at? Just saying 100 million people by 2030, that's a little vague. Since you're 70 million off, we know you're way off, because if you were close, you would say it. You would say it. If you were close to 100 million people, you would say it. Look at what happens on Twitch and YouTube, right? What do they ask for? They're like, hey, I'm really close to 100,000. I'm really close to 1 million. Can we push through, right? They ask their fans to get them closer to that number, and they oblige. Why? Because they feel like they have value. They feel like they've supported them. They're like, yeah, you know what? I'm entertained by these people. I'll give them a sub. I'll give them a follow, right? Companies do this all the time. Movie companies do this all the time, right? Number one movie at the box office. Oh, it's number one. We should be good. We should help them get, right? Must be a good movie, right? If Xbox was close to 100 million people, they would tell you. But they're not. They're not even close. It says, regardless of the best to take the rumors with a pinch of salt, as Xbox has yet to confirm or deny these reports. Well, they have yet to confirm or deny anything. Okay. It says, do you think Game Pass also go through significant changes as a new leadership shakes up the Xbox strategy moving forward? Let us know in the comments section down below. So here's what we're talking about here. It says, eyes on Microsoft is closing. Multiple independent developers having confirmed during the B2B first playable trade show in Italy, and the Xbox completely frozen the signing of new deals for Game Pass. The commercial paralysis subscription platform exposed an immediate change of course. It says offers that were also already early negotiations phased in to include certain games into Game Pass have been abruptly pulled by the company. Contracts with third-party companies are totally on hold. Developers point the new leadership having ordered a blockade while it's reorganizing the entire business strategy. The game model's base injection millions of dollars to secure day one launches from external studios is under total review, with the new top brass reining in spending, and independent studios lose their biggest financial safety net, and Xbox confirms that the era of unchecked expansion is over. Unchecked expansion. What the hell were they doing? Who did the unchecked expansions? I mean, Phil and Sarah are gone. Who else? Who else needs to be gone? Who wasn't checking people? These are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think this is going to mean for Xbox going forward? Xbox is not making sales, right? They've raised the price of Game Pass. Now it looks like they're putting a hold on Game Pass value going forward. So that means there's going to be a lull that happens within the next 6 to 12 months. Okay, because we don't know what they have in the chamber already coming out for the rest of the year. I would assume they have stuff up until the end of the year, right? So we have like another 5 months, 6 months of Game Pass consistent stuff coming out for Game Pass. But now they're not adding more to it. It's like the writer's strike that happened way back when, right? When the writer's strike happens, everyone's like, it's no big deal. But then 6 months, 8 months down the road, you start seeing movies coming out that when the writer's strike was happening, the movies suck because it takes effect then. So when's this going to take effect? Beginning of 2027? Late 2027? All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Mo says, sounds like they're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what's going to stick. These are all talking points from the past and present.
My Lord Nadella, should we wait?
Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. Oh, I can't do it from this screen. I'm gonna have to fix that. There you go. Super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you very much for the $2. Yeah, Nadella, man. What's he doing? What's he doing? Nadella is, I think, the major problem at this company, and which is fine. He's making Microsoft money, right? But he doesn't understand video games. He doesn't understand video games. And all of these prices are going up because of this. Okay. The RAM manufacturers, okay? The RAM manufacturers have been sued for allegedly fixing prices and supply, leading to increased costs. Remember that analogy I did, or I do, with Willy Wonka, with the three chocolatiers, as Willy's trying to sell his chocolate in that mall. Okay, they're competitors, but they're all in cahoots with each other. That's what's happening here. They can raise the price and charge what they want to charge because they're working together. Remember how I told you that the video game industry, they do the same thing, right? Everyone thinks that Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo are enemies. They all work against each other. But they are the chocolatiers in the gaming space. And then in the RAM space, they have their own chocolatiers where they control the cost of what's happening. They get to decide for everybody else what it should cost. They were making millions and billions of dollars, okay? They were making millions and billions before. Forget the millions. They were making billions of dollars before they raised the prices, and now they're making oodles and oodles of billions, okay? So if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay, so the RAM manufacturers have been sued for allegedly fixing prices and supplying, leading to increased costs. Now, the class action lawsuit claims that Samsung, SK, Hynix, and Micron have been squeezing supply. No, you don't say. What's going on, Crowded? Okay, the three largest RAM manufacturers in the world are being sued for allegedly fixing the supply and price of memory. The sharply rising cost of memory is widely attributed to a demand of AI data centers, with major vendors signing long-term deals with AI firms. Now, as reported, with the Law 360 class action lawsuit filed, a proposed class individual business consumer accused Samsung, Hynix, and Micron of playing a large part in what they're being dubbed Ramadon by the media. Okay, the alleges that the three companies, which makes almost all of the world's supply of DRAM, have been working together to fix component prices while reducing supply. And this is what will happen, right? This is what will happen. Nothing will happen. Because if this is even true, which I think it is, but you could think your own, right? If this is proven true and they get a lawsuit, what are they going to sue for? What are they going to sue for? I haven't read the article yet. Maybe they tell us what they're suing for, how much money they're suing for. And this will just be a drop in the bucket, and nothing will be done. Nothing at all will be done. They'll pay those small little fines or pay the little price, and they'll still continue doing it because they can. Because the people keep giving them money, and we keep giving them the money for the things that they're charging us for. And the world just keeps continuing going around because the market bears what the market bears. It accuses the trio of reducing the supply of DDR3, DDR4 RAM, leading to a sharper increase in price consumed who uses it, and focusing most of the production of HBM. The high cost, the high bandwidth form of 3D stacked DRAM, mainly used for AI data centers instead of consumers. Now it says, quote, the DRAM have simultaneously cut production, coordinated a pivot to HBM, and exits from DDR3 and DDR4, and otherwise decreased and locked up the conventional DRAM supply while price charged up with mind-blowing scale rapidly, it claims. Well, no, it's not. I mean, obviously they could say it's claimed, but you can see the proof. The proof is in the pudding. You can see what's happening right now. Okay, it argues that the DRAM shortage led to price rising. Still, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron continue to squeeze conventional DRAM supply, simultaneously publicly directing their sources towards less profitable per die HBM, or in some cases, simply junking conventional DRAM supply chains altogether. It also says that the plans to work with the consumer purchasers, conventional DRAM and devices incorporating it have paid super competitive prices and otherwise suffered the impacts of distorted marketing crippled by the behavior of DRAM. Okay, it says it's also the competitive market, prices climbing at the rate pull supply towards them, because at least one of them, of the three, should have seen this, the rising price, decided to focus on the output and that product, making the competitors either do the same or lose consumers. Okay, that didn't happen, he says. No, because they all went in together. They're all in the chocolate factory, right? They're all three chocolatiers. The suit argues that the three companies have controlled over the DRAM supply and can't realistically challenge by anybody else, because of the cost of building one DRAM fabrication plant can be tens of billions of dollars and can take years to complete. It also claims that even if the new company did try to challenge the trio, the process used to reliable manufacture chips and comprise decades of accumulated trade secrets, and U.S. export controls bar the only other producers in China from acquiring current generation equipment. It says, quote, the practical consequences is that when three firms restrict supply, no outsider can expand outside of the undercut them, it's claimed. Okay. The lawsuit also notes that the companies were found guilty. The price fixed DRAM in the past. Back in 2005, Samsung agreed to plead guilty and paid $300 million in fines for participating in what the U.S. Department of Justice referred to as one-time international conspiracy to fix prices in the DRAM market. Oh, I see. So they did it 20 years ago or 21 years ago, and they paid $300 million. Oh, darn. $300 million. Oh, well, they're making $1 billion by the day. So what's $300 million? Hynix also pleaded guilty at the time and was fined $185 million, while Micron reportedly avoided a fine by reporting the incident and working with prosecutors. Oh, so they were a snitch. Okay. The suit notes that three companies were also investigated by the Chinese government when price spiked again between 2016 and 2018. The conduct alleged where they also third such cycle in the same market among the same firms, it's claimed. As the price of memory and shortage continues to rise, every company using the components has been increased in the price and their products accordingly. Last week, Microsoft raised the prices of Xbox console between $100 and $150, while Apple also raised the prices across the hardware products of the same day. Before the value confirmed, the Steam machines would also retail over $1,000, saying the original goal for the price of the Steam machine is no longer viable. Sony and Nintendo also increased the price of the hardware in recent months, and suggests further increase would also be on the horizon. The situation continues. Well, obviously, the situation is going to continue. So there you go. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're allegedly in cahoots again? I say again because they've done this before. Two of the three people, as it says in the article, okay, Samsung and Hynix, they were both plead guilty and paid the $300 and $185 million, but it's only $485 million. It's only $500 million. They're making hand over fist right now, and nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen because the data centers are going to keep going up. People are going to pay for AI stuff. Companies are going to start a shit ton of money for the consoles and other computer devices, and the customers are going to pay for those because they have to. Something has to stop. And you know what stops? Us. Again, I say this over and over and over again. The only way this stops is when the customers stop buying. If the customers stop buying the product, then the companies can't make money. And miraculously, they have to, stop doing what they're doing. Because if the money dries up, as Xbox is putting a dam on stuff for Game Pass, the customers are the reason these companies exist. If there is no customer, there is no company. But for some strange reason, everyone in the world forgets about this. Everyone in the world thinks that it's going to happen because if you stop buying a product, other people will follow. There are more sheep in the world than shepherds. You understand what I'm saying? There is way more sheep in the world than shepherds. People don't think for themselves if the masses start to switch. Okay? Just stop buying the stuff. You don't need a VR headset. You don't need a $1,600 console. You don't need any of this stuff. The only way it changes is if we stop buying the product. And then they come back and they just beg for it. Please, please. Remember that donut shop down the road from you that's no longer there? Why is it not there? Because they were probably charging way too much for their donuts, and people forgot to shop there because they choose not to shop there. This is why companies have to give sales to get people in the door, because they have to do some value. No one's going to an expensive place unless you're a millionaire and you have more money to know what you do with. 80% of the world has to look for deals, has to look for products that are actually not charging them an arm and a leg. It's so frustrating, and it's so simple. It's so simple because these are not things. Now, if this was a food company, okay, and yeah, you need food to live. We do not need electronics to live. You do not need video games to live. Now, obviously, this is the RAM, and not talking about the consoles, but these RAM and stuff are inside the electronics that you're buying. And they're going to keep gouging you because, again, the market bears what the market bears. They don't need everyone to buy it. This is exactly what the mobile industry does for microtransactions. They can get 1 million people to pay $1, or they can get 10 people to give them $1 million. Well, let them run their business off the 10 people giving them $1 million. See how long they last. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos, right? These RAM manufacturers are 100% doing what they're saying. Allegedly, they're doing. $100 glass of water. $500 glass of water. It's the same fucking thing. Same water in the glass, not doing anything else, but supply and demand. But they're making the supply and the demand. Leader Soldier says the lawsuit is a nothing burger. Yeah, nothing's going to come of it. Nothing's going to come of it because what is $300 million to a company that's making billions of dollars making the data centers, right? Or selling the DRAM for the data centers. Hey, they're like, yeah, we'll pay the fine. Yeah, we're guilty. Okay, instead of long drawn out lawsuits and stuff like that, they're like, we're guilty. How much? Oh, 1.5 billion. Here you go. Oh, here's a tip. There you go. Thank you. Saint says, on the other note, in the chocolate world, they have 3 musketeers. It's true. That is true. Astro says, what's the obsession with 100 million milestone? EA wants player count for Battlefield 6. Xbox wants the count for Game Pass because it just sounds like a really good number, right? Impressive number. 100 million. I mean, Netflix has got 200 million, right? 200 million. Justin Love says, you keep referring to the newer Willy Wonka movie. I have to go see it. To me, it's just a great analogy. You don't actually have to go see it. Go watch it. I mean, it's a good movie. You should go watch it. I liked it. But there's 3 chocolatiers. And Willy Wonka is trying to come in to sell his chocolate, but he gets strong-armed by these 3 chocolatiers. And it should be a meme. It should just put Nintendo. You could take whatever 3 companies, right? Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. You could take Hynix, Samsung, and Micron, right? All 3 companies, always 3. You ever notice that? For big companies, for big industries, there's always 3. Why is that? Saint says, fishing trips with 30. When? I mean, if you come, I'll fish with you. Just let you know, I don't eat fish, though. I'll catch them. I just don't eat them. Red snapper, salmon, maybe a little bit of dolphin, like mahi-mahi. Other than that, not a big fish guy. Paper says it's simple, a matter of impulse control. Sure. It's also another, bragging rights. You know what I mean? Like when you get new shoes or clothes or I got this, I bought this. You're like, it's a status symbol type of thing. You know what I mean? Crowd says consoles are so fucked. Did you see the article that responded the PlayStation 6 will cost Sony $1,000 just to manufacture it? It was the first story we talked about. Jesse says more sheep hiding in wolf clothing. When I was a kid, my dad took me, Michael says, when I was a kid, my dad took me to a compact store, and I was like, a showroom. This is because the PCs were super expensive. Yes. Yeah. When we first bought our PC, right, we bought it at Sears. It was Sears. I remember going there, right? And we bought an Apple IIc computer. It was a big purchase back then, right? It was a big purchase back then. But PCs were very expensive, right? And the gaming scene wasn't what it was today, right? The Apple IIc and Nintendo, right? You play like Summer Games, Police Quest, King's Quest, right? It was very unheard of for people to have a computer in their house. It was very expensive, and they used to sell computers in the department stores. Sarge says, because 3 means a vote always wins. No ties. The trifecta for no reason. There's always 3 because 3-point forms a triangle. And triangles are pretty. Yeah, that's why they do it. Yeah, pretty things. Bradley says, are scalpers bad or good for you? It all depends. It all depends. People can... I have no problem if you're going to... If you're a person that wants to buy 2 or 3, let's say, PlayStations or Steam Decks, right, Bradley? If you buy 3 Steam Decks and you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy 3 and I'm gonna sell 2, right? But you don't sell them for extraordinary prices, right? Let's say you paid $1,000 for the standard 512. You bought 3 of them. You sold the other 2 for, instead of $1,000 a piece, you sold them for $300 more. So it's like $1,300, whatever. If people buy them, people buy them. Right? Now you have an extra $600 that you've made profit on because you sold what you got and now you made money off of it. I'm okay with that. If you're a person that's going to buy 1,000 of them, 1,500 of them, 2,000 of them, well, then that's your business. That's a business. If you're a scalper and you're doing a couple here and there, cool, right? To offset so basically you get your console for free. I'm okay with that. Right? But when you start buying them all up and then raise the price, again, capitalism's capitalism. But all the people that happened with the PlayStation back in the day when it came out, and there was people that had garages full of PlayStations, and they couldn't get rid of them because basically they wanted $4,000 for a PlayStation, and people were paying those prices. By the way, they were paying like $3,000 for a PlayStation because no one could get a hold of them. Okay. That's scummy to me. But supply and demand. People will pay what they want to pay. Sarge says, if you think the snapper's good, try yellow snapper. Done deal. I don't know. Maybe if someone cooks it for me. Maybe if Mo cooked it for me, maybe I would eat it. Let's go on, Roadkill. Altered says, the PC is a big purchase back then. And now, too, nothing has changed. Even technology in advance for some. Reason for PC is huge purchase. Isn't weird. No, but what you're getting now, like, obviously the technology is much better than it was back before. What we paid back then could have been the same amount of price as what you're paying now. And this does 1,000 times more stuff than what it did back then. But back then, people's salaries moved with the prices. Now we're like this. Now the prices are up here, but people's salaries haven't moved. Clip says, yeah, I remember the first time I got a family PC. I thought it was a rich family. I wasn't, but somehow my dad got one. Preach. My parents, we were not rich in any way, shape, or form. Both my parents worked 2 jobs. Roadkill says, that's because PlayStation rules and Xbox rules. Hold on a second. I think we had that song, don't we? We had that song. Oh, I can't find it. We had the Roadkill song. Oh, here it is. I haven't heard this one in like 2 years.
When the stream is live, the chat's on fire. The Roadkill drops in, lifting us higher. He's the hype train, the spark, the fuel, saying I rule, you're cool at Xbox rules. Hit that like, don't miss your
Oh, hold on a second. What's that? I just heard my ducks. I thought they're running across the. They're happy. Let's see. Altered says, yes, a $3,000 PlayStation 5. I remember the COVID days. Jesse Max says 30. It sounds like those corporations that are gonna to do anything for money. That's what the big daddies want, and wants he gets. Sure. Roadkill says, man, I got a new OLED TV and sound system hooked up. Big difference, boys. Yeah, well, of course it is. Now you need to wear sunglasses because OLED, you're like, holy shit, those colors. Those sunglasses have to help you. The saturation colors, man. Yeah, see, I'm okay to go back to what Bradley was asking. What do I think about, scalpers? If you're gonna scalp a little bit, I'm okay because you're not making a living off of it. But if you're not a business and you're just have a lot of money and you take a whole bunch of stuff and then jack up the prices, I hope you stub your toe on your dresser drawer and then you step on a bunch of Legos going down the hallway, and then when you fart, you rip one and you shit yourself. That's what I think about the scalpers that overdo it. But that's just me. All right, we got two more. We might as well go with this one first, and then we'll do the Battlefield one. Altered says, and do you think the GTA 6 scalpers, I think it's fucking hilarious, and I know that it's got to be fake. Or they're fucking stupid, right? Or maybe it's both. Maybe they're fake and stupid. The guy that bought like $54,000 worth of the codes for Grand Theft Auto, he's like, I can't wait to sell them. But like, I hope it's true. I don't think it is. Like there's people out there that are like, yeah, I got a physical copy. No, you didn't. You got a empty cartridge with a stick inside of it. Yeah, altern. Fake or stupid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope it's fake. I hope it's not fake. I hope it's not fake. I hope someone literally spent their 401k on digital goods. Here's the real crux, right? When you pay for the ultimate thing, I do know there's a Grand Theft Auto Plus, right? GTA Plus exists now. And GTA Plus membership, let me bring this up. Let me see what the price is. It's like $10, right? $8, $10. Because this is not what a lot of people are talking about. Okay, you get benefits and stuff for GTA. You get $2 million in discounts. Okay, you get a showroom. You get vehicle benefits. You get free clothing. Right? Basically, GTA Plus is Fallout 1. Right? You pay a monthly fee. And they're giving this to you when you buy a GTA Ultimate Edition, where they give you 1 month free. But online doesn't happen right away. Right? So hopefully when you get the code, it doesn't activate until the online comes out. And then when it comes out, you got to make sure. You got to make sure, because remember, it's always an opt out, not an opt in, that when you put the code in, it probably tells you that it automatically renews afterwards. I would assume. Don't want to say it does exactly. I would just assume. Okay? Because if it automatically renews, then do you know how many people they'll get that got the Ultimate, especially if 70% of the people got the Ultimate Edition, and it automatically recurs. So I'm assuming they're waiting for a lot of people. And again, there's a lot of people that are sheep and don't understand stuff. So they'll buy the Ultimate. They'll put the code in. They'll get the 1 month free of GTA Plus. And then when they get the 1 month, what is it? How much is it? Select platform. I don't care. Just want to see what the price is. Choose edition. Okay, you get Shark Cardwall card bundle, $24.99 online story. PS5 bundle. No, that's not it. Where is the plus? Is it $8? I think it's like $8. GTA Plus. Join now. Okay, so $8. So let's just say, all right. So supposedly, we're gonna do rough math here. We're gonna do rough math. Supposedly, there's 40 million, and and 70% of those, okay, 70% of those are Ultimate Editions, supposedly. Okay, so we're talking 30 million, basically, of the 40 million. Okay, so you got 30 million times, what is it, $7.99. So if they forget to not cancel GTA Plus, they make an additional $239 million a month. Now think about this for a second. That's $239 million a month. And if they don't do that, that is an additional $2.8 trillion by the end of the year. If the people that signed up for Ultimate got the GTA Plus, forget to cancel, and again, not everyone's there, but 30 million people at $8 a month for a year is $2.8 trillion. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, I think they are going to do that. Right? I have less interest in Grand Theft Auto. If you told me 10 years ago that I would despise Grand Theft Auto, what is GTA Plus? GTA Plus is where you get free stuff, sort of like Fallout First. Is it Fallout First? Yeah, Fallout First, right? On Fallout 76, where you pay a monthly fee and you get like free cosmetics, just a bunch of stuff. No, Sarge. If it was 230, how many zeros? You know what? We talked about this on GXG the other day. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 2.8 billion. 2.8 billion, right? 2.8 billion and just $8 a month. And that's at 30 million. Mo says, welcome to the club. Yeah, if you told me 10 years ago that I would hate GTA, I would be like, never. But we never say never, right? We never say never. But I would be like, yeah, I love GTA. I'm gonna pick it up. I have no interest. Zero interest. Because there's no physical copy. No physical copy. And it doesn't look like there's going to be ever a physical copy. GTA Plus will get you 100 million subscribers by 2030. I'm calling it now. Wouldn't that be funny? The one game gets 100 million subscribers by 2030, but Xbox can't. Jesse Mack says there are approximately 878,000 active players of GTA Plus subscribers with the premium membership. With a premium membership. What does the premium membership cost for GTA Plus? Crowd says for 80% of the players, GTA 6 is essentially a base PlayStation 5 game. I'm so curious how the game runs. Yeah, you get their money, and then you usually get a free car, and that put out every month. You know, GTA on PlayStation 2 era are not that bad. I love Grand Theft Auto. I do. I look at the trailer and stuff, what's going to happen with Grand Theft Auto. We haven't seen gameplay. That's another thing. Haven't seen gameplay. And supposedly there's 40 million, maybe even more, that have pre-ordered the game. Now, remember, these are the same people, because they have to be mixed in there for 40 million people, right? If it is true they have 40 million pre-orders, these are the same people that preach to you every single day and tell you don't pre-order games or don't buy games that are broken, buggy, and unfinished. And yet they haven't seen one goddamn frame of gameplay, and they've pre-ordered this game. We don't even know if it's going to run 60 frames per second on certain consoles. And they've still pre-ordered the game. Ron says, I hope the game launches like Cyberpunk. Sarge says this is their anchor game that pushed people into believing that they don't need to own anything. How is PC Online free and the PlayStation Network is not? And Xbox. Yeah, both of them. Console pays for online. PC doesn't. And when people tell you the price of a console, they're like, oh, yeah, it's much cheaper than a PC. Okay, well, go 5 years. And if you have online for 5 years, it's just as much as a PC. Pay now, pay later. I would rather pay now. Give me the PC for $1,500, $1,800. Never pay for online for the time I have that PC. Or get a PlayStation or an Xbox, and they pay a monthly fee every month for 5 years. What's going on, Drummond? Why do I despise GTA? I despise GTA now because they're charging $80 to $100, and I don't get a game. I don't get a game. You do not own that game. If something happens down the line, I can still play Red Dead. I can still play Grand Theft Auto 5. I can still play Grand Theft Auto 4 and 3, Vice City. I can play all of these games because I have the disc. I can't play Grand Theft Auto 6 because it's all digital. As if Division 2 are doing a crossover with the Dead by Daylight. Just posted about it. Okay, I'll take a look at it. Sony and Microsoft, do you get lawsuits? Who do you sue for PC? It's true. Jesse Max says GTA Plus Premium monthly membership costs $7.99 per month. Jax, I didn't even want Crimson Desert originally. My whole trajectory is online. I wasn't interested in Crimson Desert at all. I wasn't going to buy Crimson Desert because it was $70. I didn't pay $70 for Crimson Desert. I paid $27 for Crimson Desert. I didn't buy a full priced, right? Didn't pre-order it, by the way. Okay. I was like, I don't know if I want to get this game. As it got closer and closer and closer, I was like, that looks pretty good. Didn't buy it day one, didn't buy day two, didn't buy day three. Waited till the weekend when people were playing it. And I said, okay, I'll pick it up for $27. That's not a franchise to this point where I played every single one and own every single copy of Grand Theft Auto or Rockstar game that I bought. Okay. One doesn't justify the other. I'm a Grand Theft Auto and a Rockstar fan. I own their games because I love their games and I own their games. I can't say that for Crimson Desert. I put 165 hours into Crimson Desert, and that's all I did. Now, if Crimson Desert 2 comes out and 3 and 4 and Crimson Desert Vice City and Crimson Desert San Andreas, then maybe, right? But I could also go buy a Crimson Desert hard copy. Crowd says you're locked into PlayStation when you buy that game. Yeah. Well, even if you own the disc, you're locked in. You're locked into that thing. If they never come out with a hard copy of Grand Theft Auto, I probably won't ever buy it. Now, my brother-in-law, he said this to me the other day, because my brother-in-law, he wants to buy it, but he doesn't want to buy a console, right? I've told you guys this story. My brother-in-law doesn't own a console. The last console he owns is the 360. That's the last time he played a Grand Theft Auto. He loves Grand Theft Auto. Okay. He goes, what do I need to buy Grand Theft Auto? I said, you need to buy either a $900 or $700 system. And he goes, what? I said, yeah, you got to buy a $700 to $900 system. I said, you can get a cheaper one, but you know, it's not really worth it for the experience you're going to get on it. And he's like, what about if I buy the game, come over to your house and play it? I said, sure. Right? So he might buy it. Don't get your hopes up, though, because I won't play it. It'll be on my Xbox, and I won't play it. I have Cyberpunk 2077 on my Xbox. Never played it. Clip says, have you seen the Division 2 is going to stop in China? I watched a person talk about it, and it actually got pretty cool skins in China. Wait, it 2 is going to stop in China. So it's going to stop. They're not supporting it anymore in China. Interesting. That's exactly right, Eclipse. If I wanted to buy a physical copy of Crimson Desert, I could. Do you know what I think's funny? That the Crimson Desert made it where you couldn't play it until you launched because they put a lock on it, even if you got the physical early. But Rockstar can't do that. Well, no, because that's the excuse they're using, right? They have to have it digital because they don't want people to leak it early. August says, gotta play Cyberpunk. No, I don't. I don't ever have to play a Cyberpunk. I would have if they came out with a game that wasn't broke, buggy, and unfinished and told other people they wouldn't come out with a game like the other guys did. Which at that time, they were talking shit about Fallout 76 and Bethesda releasing a game that was broke, buggy, and unfinished. Crowd says, I can't wait for PlayStation 6 version when they make people pay for another copy they won't own. Well, you can't just make it. You can't just make it a PlayStation thing, Crowded. You got to just talk about the game industry in general, right? So that's exactly what will happen, right? So people are going to buy it. Think about this: that people are going to buy it on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X because that's the only two systems they're on, and then the PlayStation 6 and the Helix are going to come out late next year, maybe 2028, and you're going to have to buy it again because they're going to add like a first person view or something, or better graphics where it's consistent 60 frames per second, right? They're going to make it something in other way, shape, or form that you have to buy on the next system. Sort of like when they did with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 5. I'm sorry, with the PlayStation 4. From the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. When it came over to the next system, they were like, oh, it's got first person now, and you can do all this. To buy it again. Titan says it doesn't have to be digital to stop leaks. It could be on a disc that have the account/server to play. No, Titan, they said the reason that it's not doing it is because, I know I'm being facetious, but they said it. That's the reason they're not putting a disc to stop the leaks. Jesse Max says, how many months or years to GTA 6 comes to PC and other platforms, if not profitable enough only on PlayStation 5 and Xbox? Oh, no, it's profitable enough. They've already made their money back. They've made their money back. Right now, they're thinking of ways that they could get more money, right? They're like, oh, yeah, we're profitable. We've made not only our $2 billion back, we've made $4 billion. Crowd says it's going to be called GTA 6 proper. That's right. It's fucking stupid, isn't it? Speaking of stupid, Sony Games boss says company will bravely keep sending live service over the top despite canceling 8 of the 12 ones planned in 2025 and wiping out most of Destiny's 2 developers. All right, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon. We just cover stories, give you my thoughts and opinions, get your thoughts and opinions on these stories as well. All right, so Sony Game boss says company will bravely keep sending live service over the top despite canceling 8 to 12. Amazing. Remember, Concord was the worst failure in video game history. 13 days, studio, $400 million, closed down. Never to be seen or heard of from again. Sony had a rough track record last year, as one of the contributors, Rick Lane, pointed out that the company had canceled 8 of the 12 live service games that originally planned in 2025, including a train wreck that was Concord. Fast forward to 2026, it's called Curtains of Destiny 2, and the game just years prior would have also considered one of the most successful live service games in the market, because it was. Still is one of the most successful games. It still is one of the most successful live service games. It says you've been forgiven for thinking that Sony might intend to make it less live service games. Forgiven, but also wrong. That's per recent interview with Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO, President Nishiu. I can't even speak English, let alone Japanese. You can also look at the site following a quote. It says, we believe that the live service games are the content that attracts users on a global level. So we want to continue to revitalize the market through both first-party and third-party content. He says, quote, we're not only focusing on promoting new releases, but also considering what we can do with the older titles in the medium to long term. Nishio continues, when asked if Sony plans to continue with the live service ambitions, he says, that's right. With live service games, it's important to continuously provide something. The genre itself is relatively new. I mean, I guess relatively new for the games. It's still 1/3 of the video game business. A little less than 1/3, right? It's been around, live service, since 2014. It's been around. Like, what are we talking about? Over a decade it's been here. Actually, it's probably 1/3. Yeah. It says, I think many people are trying to various things, so we also want to continue to take on challenges within the context. Okay, it says, I'm not sure about the relative new there, but Fortnite's Battle Royale mode came out in 2017, making it almost a decade old, perhaps useful in business terms, but with how quickly video game genre evolves and morphs, not all that springing. It also, a little counter, the words of Sony's CFO, who said that it's also not entirely going smoothly. Mind the conclusion that she also reached was also simply weren't making live service games good enough, commenting that, quote, we should learn the lesson from our mistakes and make sure that they introduce live service content where there's less waste or are smooth. She also said that Destiny 2 was a sign that live service games are still occasionally winners, which has not aged well. Not only did Destiny 2 been wound down, but almost everyone's making it now out of the job, which they basically fired 292 people from Bellevue and then about another 100 and something people throughout the company. It says, still, Sony will continue to bravely send live service games out of the trenches and over the top to be gunned down by increasingly merciless industry. He says, I'm reminded of this, those one more lane bro moments ribbing an America highway system being prioritized over effective public transportation. Just one more live service game, bro. One more live service game will fix it. Be very interesting to see what live service games they have. I mean, we have that. What's that one that comes out? The Hunters. Is that what it's called? Horizon Hunters. Yeah, that's going to bomb. That's I don't know what's going to be worse. Do we think that game succeeds more or less than Marathon? I don't know. I'm going to say worse. Not as bad as Concord, but not as good as Marathon. Putting good and Marathon in a sentence together sounds weird. Eclipse says, I can't wait for Fair Games. Money sigh. I mean, Breakout. Each time you bring up Concord, the Concordian timeline shifts. I can't wait to get out of the Concordian timeline. Miss Fall Hunters has a good base. More because that's Herman's baby. You think it does better or worse? You think it does better? I think Hunters is gonna flop. It's gonna flop. They want it to be good, but it's gonna flop big time. That's what it's called. Hunter's Gathering. Everyone's shitting on Hunter's Gathering, but I feel like I haven't seen enough to make a judgment call yet. I've seen everything I need to see. Yeah, crowded. You saw a video, right? You saw gameplay. We've seen gameplay. We've shown it here. I don't know if you've watched it when we watched it. Okay, we've seen gameplay. We watched the trailers of it. You make a decision on things pretty fast. Not you specifically, but just as people, right? You look at something and go, that's good looking, that's not good looking. I like that, I don't like that, right? If it's in this mid-ground of, I don't know yet, I got to see more, you're probably not interested in that game. It could be because of the way it, and I'm not saying the way it looks like it's DEI. I'm just saying like the style of it, whatever. It's Monster Hunter. It's Dauntless, but in the Horizon world. It's what it is. Now, I don't believe that game comes to Xbox, even as a live service game. I think it only comes to PlayStation and PC, and the PC crowd's not going to play that. So now you're left with the PlayStation crowd, which is if it's a first-party game, they sell less than 4 million copies. Clip says, I have a fat hunter that has diabetes. What are we talking about? It makes zero sense in that world. With a peg leg, by the way. She's a fat hunter with diabetes. Yeah. With a peg leg. I've seen it all. And I don't even have a PlayStation, but if I had a PlayStation, I wouldn't buy it. So I'm not going to buy it without a PlayStation, but if I had a PlayStation, I wouldn't buy it either. Do you play Helldivers 2, Crowded? Did you play Helldivers 2? If I'm a gamer and I see Hunters and Helldivers 2, which one am I picking over a live service game? Take everything out of your mind of what's happened to Arrowhead and Helldivers 2. Just they both come out at the same time. Helldivers 2 and Hunter the Gathering. Which one you buying? Here, let me see if I can find it. Is it called The Gathering or Hunter's Gathering? Here you go. This is we're gonna sell or not sell Crowded on this game right now. Okay. This is 8 minutes of Horizon Hunters Gathering gameplay overview. What's happening here? Why won't it go full screen? There we go. We gotta sell crowded on this, one way or the other. I mean, they're telling you what the game is. This looks so much like Dauntless. It's crazy.
Work together, win together.
Just Enough says, that depends if you like shooters or not. No, it depends if you like good games or not. And this, not a good game.
With Hunter's Gathering, we're bringing back what makes Horizon so unique. Set in the American West, 1,000 years from now, civilization has collapsed. The hunters are all that stand between the...
First thing I would do, okay, is I would eliminate this woman right here, right? If she's in the same village as these people, you can make yourself. Right? If I was in the village with these people, I would kick her out because she's eating all the food.
Tribes and the massive animal-like machines that threaten their survival. And the crisis is only getting worse. The machines have grown deadlier and they're more dangerous by the day. Someone has to step up and push back. And that is The Gathering, a crew of unlikely heroes venturing out into the wilds to stop the machine threat. We'll launch with a roster of hunters that grows over time. In our first playtest, you'll be
Dauntless reboot? Yeah, basically. It reminds me of Dauntless. Dauntless is good.
able to play as Rem,
Come on, Sinner.
Sun, and Axel. 3 hunters with very different approaches to combat and teamwork.
If you don't want to play a fat diabetes person, you can play as what is that philosopher? You can play an old black guy, or you can play an old white guy, or you can play a young little hot chick. Options are endless.
Fight.
Combat is at the core of Hunter's Gathering.
Incoming attack.
It is tactical, reactive, and skill-based. We took the precision and tactical depth of Horizon's combat and built it for a team environment. You'll have to read enemy movements, time your attacks, and combine abilities with your squad.
I saw what you said, just enough. You said, I like Dauntless, but this is automatic failure. Yes, because in Dauntless, I can make my own character. I can make my own character. I didn't need to be a fat person or an old person. I could make my own character, and I could also change weapons. It wasn't just class-based. I could literally change the class that I wanted to be.
To take down the most powerful machines.
Yeah.
It is a challenging game, and you really have to earn that victory. Now, when you start a mission, you pick and prepare your hunter. Each has very different melee, ranged playstyles, and weapons. You can select between classes for each hunter that change their abilities, from tank to support or tactician. During a hunt, you can tinker with our roguelike build system. Every machine encounter you beat gives you powerful, tactical options. You've got perks, weapon upgrades, and various upgrades to your stats. In each run, you'll have to try and find the best possible combination of power-ups that take on the biggest machine. You'll be able to
Saint says, a hero hunter, the game you never wanted to play.
explore 4 large and very different environments at launch, each with its own look, its own atmosphere, its own challenge.
You know what's crazy to me? They're really like they have all these IPs at Sony, right? They have so many IPs, and yet they just have a towel, and they're just squeezing out Horizon as much as possible. They're like, let's get a Lego game out of it. Let's get an MMO out of it. Let's get a mobile game out of it. Let's get a gathering game out of it. Like, Like, there's no other franchise. Like, this is all in, huh? All in.
Challenges for your squad to master. At the center of it all is the Hunter's Gathering. This is where you upgrade your gear, tweak your loadout, and team up for the next hunt. It is also just a fun place. For example, you can hang out in your own customizable.
So in Dauntless, you could have picked what you wanted, right? You could pick, swords, guns, axes. Like, you could choose and switch based on who you were going up against, right? And it's like a rock, paper, scissors type of thing. So if you were going up against a plant-based animal, you would want to bring in flame type of stuff. And if you're going up against flame, then you bring in ice type of stuff, right? You were constantly switching and stuff. I would assume that's the same kind of thing that you're doing here.
Campsite, and then head back into the wilds.
Let's get out there.
Hold on one second. Let me see what they
Let's
said
get
there.
out there.
Launched a new assault region. Received reports. Okay, apex level threat in the area. Unless, okay, does it tell you what it is? Machine sighted, Thunderjaw and Dreadclaw. So there's two different things here. Now, I don't know what these are as far as this is the rewards you're getting. So you'd have to try to find, if you're going up against these guys, you have to try to find what their weak point is and what weapons to use that do more damage to it, right?
Horizon Hunter's Gathering is all about challenge and mastery, and the missions that you go on lean right into that.
Justin Nove says, I would try this Hunter's Gathering for free, but I wouldn't buy it. But isn't that the problem? Why wouldn't you buy it? Why would you try it for free, but you wouldn't buy it? Why wouldn't you buy it? Dauntless was a much more forgiving than Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is really in depth. So much so that if I stopped playing Monster Hunter and came back, right, I was like, what am I doing? In Dauntless, when I stopped playing, I came back and picked it up real quick because it wasn't like this, like, what was I doing? What was my build? I could literally just pick my build and go hunt that monster.
During our first playtest, you'll get to try two very different mission types.
Let's show them what we got.
In Machine Incursion, you fight to stop a large-scale machine assault on the tribes.
Here we go.
With your squad, you plan and coordinate which randomized power-ups to collect before facing a relentless boss machine.
Work together, win together.
Time is limited, with a violent storm closing in that cuts down your options to
They have like Battle Royale, like closing in the sector. Oh, I don't like that. This is going to get boring real fast. I'm just letting you know.
get stronger.
What is all this?
The next is Cauldron Descent. In this multi-stage dungeon, the hunters take the fight to the enemy. You decide which path to take, from brutal machine encounters to really challenging obstacles. They all require teamwork. Every clear chamber shapes your run and gives you power-ups to descend deeper and claim the rewards. These modes are the foundation of Hunter's Gathering.
You know, it is kind of weird that they are not supporting Destiny anymore, but they're coming out with a Horizon game that does dungeon runs that is sort of like strikes and whatnot from Destiny. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Tough, replayable, and built for squads who want to master them. We'll continue to evolve them with your feedback throughout our playtests. At launch, you'll be able to play the story campaign solo with NPCs or together in co-op. But that won't be part of the playtest. We want you to experience the story fresh when the game is ready. What we can say is that it's fully canon within the Horizon universe. It introduces new characters, new threats, and new mysteries that expand this part of the world. And the story doesn't stop at launch. We'll keep adding new adventures over time to the game.
It's like the worst characters I've ever seen.
We we hope you've enjoyed your first look at Horizon Hunters Gathering. We're beginning a journey, and we're inviting all of you. Though it's still early days, you can expect more regular development updates and playtest announcements from us.
I'm going to say this will do better than Marathon. This will do better than Marathon only because it's PvE.
In the coming months. To stay in the loop on all of the latest news about the game, we've launched a brand new Horizon Hunters Gathering Discord and social channels. We'd love to see you there. From all of us at Gorilla, thank you for joining us today. Horizon Hunters Gathering is about taking on challenges together.
Clip says, so it's fully canon. So there is a fat hunter that lost her leg to diabetes. Maybe she lost her leg. Look, if the animal saw her that she was trying to hunt, saw her and said she looks like a tasty piece of meat and just ate her leg, maybe she didn't lose it to diabetes.
We appreciate your help, and we're just getting started.
From the ashes of the old world.
It's already too late for Marathon, Crowded. Remember people were fighting me in the beginning that I said that they need PvE in this game, and everyone was like, Marathon, it's extraction, it's PvP, you don't like it, don't buy it, don't play it. So people didn't buy it or play it, and now they're going PvE. They've already lost. There's already been a 1,000 games that have come out that someone else will play other than this, right? Other than Marathon's PvE. Will people come back? Sure. We'll look at the chart in just a second.
Came machines. For ages, they were the guardians of the natural world. And they turned against us. Now, they're getting deadlier by the day.
It almost looks like Wayfinder as well. I get that vibe off of it as well.
All across the land, people are dying. That's why our leader gave me this command.
Make sure you pre-order now to get Halo.
We have to fight back. And to do that, we need a team. Soldiers who always hold the line. And mercenaries
I always think it's funny.
who may have crossed it now and then. Infiltrators who hide in the dark. And champions who shine in the light. Upstarts whose stories are just beginning. And legends looking for one last shot. The last line of defense for those who need it most. Made up of the greatest hunters in the land.
The greatest hunters in the land. That girl is... Look at this girl, how skinny she is. This girl needs to get exiled from the town.
It's Hunters Gathering.
Like, she needs to lay off a little bit. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense in the lore. They're like hard up for food and stuff, aren't they? She eats metal from the beasts, I guess so. I guess so. I do believe it'll do better than Marathon. Speaking of Marathon, here, look, Marathon is not doing very good, right? Even after the free to play weekend, okay, even after the free to play weekend, like look at this, the trajectory was going down, right? It hit this point, and they're like, "Hey, free weekend or free week." So they did the free week, and everyone went up, and it went back up to what it was around, month 1, second week. And then it dramatically dropped off back down to lower than what it was before the free weekend. When they add the PvE, unless they fundamentally change what the game is, okay, this game is not surviving. I've said it on record that this game lasts a year, and I stand by that. It'll last 1 year. But it's not doing very well. Just Max says you'll have to lay off the Big Macs. This was a 1-to-1 from the Concord characters. How's Destiny doing? Is it dropping 2? Destiny 2, as of right now, it's doing much better. Much better than Marathon is. Which is a little unfair to compare to, considering this is a 12-year-old game and it has a beloved, fan base. There's the uptick here, right? Here's May. There's June. It's back up to what it was September 2023. Where are we at? 167. Yeah, you're getting people from back in 2021 basically came back to play this game. Argus says they had a black mad scientist looking hunter, the goth Asian hunter, the Bulgarian whale feminist, the hunter, the Hawaiian fire dancer hunter, and the white handlebar mustache hunter. They also had the Tarzan hunter as well. It's the weird part is you're bringing a game like that back in as there was other games that failed, and you're bringing that game in as a live service game. Again, I don't think it's going to be a huge hit. Now, we also don't know the price. Is it a free-to-play game that's on, right? Is it microtransactions in there? Is it a $40 game? Is it a $50 game? Is it a $60 game? It's definitely not a $70 game. If they're charging $70 for Hunter of the Gathering, they got problems. Much better, but still dropped dramatically after 2 weeks of the update. For Destiny or for Marathon? I mean, Marathon right now, the last week, it peaks at 10,000 every day. I don't think it's going to peak at 10,000 today, but 24 hours was 9,526. 4,000 people in it right now. That's not good. Speaking of not good, let's go to another game that I love talking about. And I can't wait till it's on Game Pass so I can play it. For fuck's sake. Battlefield, okay? Battlefield is trying. It's trying its hardest to make a comeback, but that's a flat line, dude. Right? The best-selling, let me repeat myself, the best-selling game of 2025, and now it can't get over. Now, this is a multiplayer game. It can't get over 54,000 in 24-hour peak. That is the clientele right? They've found their clientele for the last 6 months, basically. Well, Battlefield 6, okay, Battlefield 6 dev on the state of the game, addressing fan feedback and much more. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Battlefield 6 dev on the state of play of the game, addressing fan feedback. Now, the team behind Battlefield 6 is working hard to deliver the best experience it can based on fan feedback. I think we're done with the article, because why couldn't you do this before the game came out? It was a bait and switch. Okay, you hyped up the game. You got the Call of Duty crew to come over to pretend it was a Call of Duty game. You didn't make a Battlefield game. You didn't put big maps in it, right? All the stuff. Hit detection is still bad. It says, since Battlefield 6 beta last August, fans have been demanding things like bigger maps, better player visibility, and return classic locations from previous games. It took a bit, but Battlefield 6 has finally begun implementing that feedback. 18 months to fix the pain, right? That's not to say the team didn't hear players all the way back then. It just takes time, a lot of time. As a result, they created a beefy roadmap for 2026 that seems to address a lot of the biggest pieces of feedback in chunks. Why buy the game at launch? Why? Why buy this game at launch if they're just going to fix it down the road 18 months? Okay. It says, we sat down with the seasonal competitive creative lead motive of Battlefield Studios to discuss how long it takes to make a season of Battlefield and why Battlefield Studios choose to reimagine the railway and also Grand Bazaar, and how the developers are trying to strike balance with the fans' feedback. So IGN, this is probably your biggest season yet, and at least the start of every significant pipeline of plans. When did you start planning this season? Ariel says, so the process is a bit fluid because it starts very early. We even started even before launch. So they already knew the things they had to add in the game before it launched, which they knew should have been in the game. So really, the fan feedback's not really fan feedback. The fan feedback is the things that should have been in the game at the launch, which they know what should have been at the game at launch, but they didn't choose to put it at launch because they worked on it way ahead of time and still didn't get it right. Remember, the reason Battlefield 6 came out last year is because Grand Theft Auto 6 got delayed this year. So as Battlefield 6 being shipped and then also designated and the time started to shift, and then once we've got the players' voices, we keep modifying the season, so the season starts maybe a year before. So the stuff they were going to add to the game, the water, like the boats and stuff like that, all the things they were working on, they knew about a year ahead before the game even launched. And yet, people paid full price for a half-ass game. So there are very long processes of working creative aspects, sitting down with the creative director, talking about the features, and what do you want to take the story? Where do you want to take the features? And then we started to change over time. But for the change over time, you actually need to set up the base very early on. So yeah, it's very interesting. A lot of the work goes into the seasons, and the process are very different between the different stages. One of the initial stages of daydreaming and being creative and thinking about what we want in the franchise and how we wanted to achieve these goals. And then it starts becoming a reality or becoming real. And when it starts to become real, then there's a lot of voices that also come in, and they're also valuable feedback. There's realities of production, and there's a lot of things that happen during that trip. IGN says, I think it's helpful for players to have a sense of how long, realistically, if you could take and implement feedback I submit to you today. Obviously, it varies depending on the scope of the feedback, but if it's helpful to have an understanding of how long it should take or should I expect before I'm like, oh, they're not hearing me. She says, that's a well-defined problem space. Sometimes feedback can address very quickly. And if we also do our best to set up the systems, and we also cannot support the quick iteration of the feedback. How about the hit detection? Netcode? No? Still fixing that? It's only been a decade. But then there are more longer or larger changes that maybe not even the development time that could also would be for the change to be applied. But how safe is it applied to the fix with all these other systems and all the other modes and all the other classes? So even though the changes might be adjusted a few numbers for tuning, we can't release that without going through the Battlefield labs, the community testing environments, for example, or going through the intense play testing because we know the feedback that will take the community and that will apply directly. We're actually doing a disservice to the community if we don't do it proper job making sure that we're going to be good for the whole battlefield. You're doing a disservice to the community by not completing the game at launch. They paid for the product up front, and they have to wait 12 to 18 months to get these things fixed. So I understand that sometimes the frustration is like, oh, but I want it now. It's not about I want it now. It's about these things should have been in the game before, and I paid you money, and it's not. And you want it now, but it's also I want it good. So there's a lot of effort that goes into making sure that it's good. But yeah, we're doing our best, giving visibility over the timelines, giving visibility of the hearing concerns and the feedback. I hope the roadmap shows that we're also listening and working towards those goals, and the community is setting us for us. But at the same time, we're moving responsibly because Battlefield is huge, and the other challenges that people are sometimes miss that Battlefield is a sandbox. Battlefield allows us for be a lot of creativity and the DNA, and we want the sandbox experience, and we don't want the box the experience. But box the experience is easier to tune, something that also might be obvious to implement if you guys are using it like this. It says IGN, it breaks everything else. Ariel says, yeah, so for us, keeping a sandbox identity is critical, and this means testing and meaning play testing, which also differs than regular testing, which means iterating and also means communication between sometimes we do a change that's going to be really good for a game, but then the community doesn't know how to interact with that. An example of that is the counterplay gadgets that also might be a bit more specific in their use. But then there's also a piece of, okay, we need to let the community learn about the creative uses of the counterplay and how to apply it. And then there's a little bit of the part of the funno that people don't understand how to use. But I find a way that also giving an advantage of applying them my creativity. This is a complex space, but it's also the most rewarding part of what Battlefield's part from a lot of other experiences. IGN says, you came out the season with 2 reimaginings of pretty classic Battlefield maps, Railway and Bazaar. There's also a lot of maps that also become the Caspian Border, Operation Locker, Operation Metro. So why these 2? So first off, of all we wanted is immense maps. We knew from the start that we're getting immense maps, but at the top priority, it was a top priority for us to even release the game and heard the feedback from the community. We were like, okay, good. We're on the right track because we already started working. Let me read that again. Okay, we knew from the start that getting an immense map, okay, was top priority. And it was a top priority for us, even when we released the game and we heard the feedback. Are you telling me they had to hear the feedback that we wanted big maps in a Battlefield game? And they're like, oh, we're on the right track. What are we talking about, Chad? What are we talking about? When I say Battlefield, when I say Battlefield, the first thing that you think of is large maps, not small maps. Everyone knows, everyone that doesn't even play Battlefield. You say Battlefield, they're like, oh, those are big maps. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, my God. Also, a lot of the fans of the map in our team, people that worked on it in the past, but also new blood that played it. They wanted the big, massive vehicle mayhem. And Bazaar was also the opposite of that. We didn't want the whole season to be about large vehicles because then a lot of the infantry players that really enjoy the infantry play were also going to feel left out. Season 3, for all the players, we wanted to come up strong, showing the dedication to them. So we also did some changes in the maps that we also important on the creative level for us. We didn't want to just repeat the maps from the past. We wanted to do Battlefield 6 versions of the maps because that way we can also provide more value to our players. You shouldn't be doing replays of any maps. Yet you have multiple maps coming in that are not new maps. They're redesigned maps of old maps. It wasn't just repeating the success from the past. It was let us get the bar to be higher. But when we looked at the Goldman and identified the vehicle action was almost, but infantry play was really hard. We knew that traversing from point to point, the lack of cover was an issue. So this is why the big item for us. Let's make sure that infantry play is satisfying so people also don't feel the only way to enjoy the map is through vehicles. Oh my God. These people don't know how to make a Battlefield. They fundamentally don't understand Battlefield. So that was the first high-end level requirement that came to us. We did not allow play testing just to make sure that the piece of the perfect because we wanted the map to be enjoyed by everybody, not just vehicle fans. The other thing was critical for us, okay, getting the train. We also made some changes to the behavior of the train, with the train moving forward towards the enemy instead of backwards because it makes that area so dynamic. It also adds the back and forth of you taking control, but when it also gets harder and harder for you to take control, then the other team pulls back, and then there's also some dynamic action going with the train. We looked at the strengths of the map. We looked at the emotions of the map. We provided the pass, and how did you feel playing? We get that, make it better. We make it sense. Sometimes getting it better is hard, but that's what the testament of how good our designers and our team are working on the maps were. So for the Bazaar, we also, coming from the space of we wanted Grand Bazaar, but we didn't also want the old Grand Bazaar. We wanted Battlefield 6 Grand Bazaar. To make it better use of the kit and the destruction, we wanted to set expectations to just not Grand Bazaar. This is another reason I don't like. This is why I like the games in the past and when they're done in the past, because sometimes they make a battlefield within a place that was a battle, but now in the future of gaming, they just rehash the stuff you've already went to. They don't tell their own story, right? Can you imagine if they were like, oh yeah, we wanted to tell the story of the Battle of Iwo Jima and stuff like that, but in modern day it's like, I don't want to play modern day on that. I wanted to play the original on that. We also have the opportunity to revisit Cairo, also an ending of a single-player story. The story also has been evolving over the seasons, and we felt like it was a good moment to go back to Cairo to show how the area evolved. So it also felt like it was a good combination of two things. I also wanted to revisit the seasons, and we're also very happy with the Cairo Bazaar. I felt like the map was a great opportunity for us to have smaller, more tactical combat. Yeah, but what about the vehicles? What about the people that like vehicles? IGN says you also added some quality of life changes this season. I think it's of the biggest of the players' visibility. Everybody has their own preference on how some people saw we're also a little upset because it defeats the purpose of camouflage. Are you happy with where you landed on visibility? Is there work to go in with that? It says yes. There's always work. We continue to improve everything for us. We also know it defeats the fantasy for camouflage, and we would also still argue that some camos are still very effective, even in the visibility changes. But it's addressing the concerns that the frustrating a larger part of the audience. They would also get killed without knowing what killed them. That's battle. When you come running out of the door or running up an open area and someone's already got a position on the top of a top of a high spot shooting down. They're like, I don't even know where I got killed from. Well, yeah, it's because you're running into battle. You're not taking your time. They would also get killed without knowing where they also got killed from, and they also get killed in the enemy in front of them without having the time to react because cognitively it was taking a little bit more time to register just because of the lighting conditions. And this change was night and day. It's funny, the light feature, and I'm also using the light and day, but it's also the light and day for those players. You can also see it before and after. It was still subtle because it's not like they are on the spotlight on their head, but they also greatly separated from the character from the background, and it improves the competitive quality of the game because we don't want players to get killed feeling like, oh, there was no way for me to even know that this is going to happen. And I think it greatly improves the fairness and what it also those things. And I know some camo players will find. What else? IGN would also like to say, how would you also define the health of Battlefield 6 right now? Are you satisfied with it and you're landed with Season 3? Are you looking to grow the game more or especially entertain? Well, of course they are, 100 million players. Competitive second half of the year. Although we're not launching a new game, we're sustaining the game. So I'm curious on how you're feeling right now with the state of the game. He says, we're very happy with the Season 3, or she says, we're very happy with the Season 3, mostly because the Season 3, our goal was to reach out to our fans, was to reach out to our current players, show them that we care, show them that the future is bright, and that we're going to apply a lot of changes, and we're also going to be doing a lot of things that the community wants, and very happy with that. Again, I go back that this game shouldn't have launched. It takes 18 months to fix the problems. So they should have never released the game. They should have waited. They probably shouldn't have released it till 2027. Okay? It would have came out beautifully with hopefully a lot less problems, the same problems they've had with every other Battlefield game. And this is no different. I actually have a video on this, right? Before Battlefield came out, I said, this is a Battlefield problem they've had since Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 1, right? They just kept doing the exact same thing, launch it, and then fix it later. So, for example, Season 3 are starting Battlefield Labs initiative for competitive play, which also a building block for the future. It's also about allowing our community to figure out the best for Battlefield. It's a very deep aspirational desire of finding meaning in the community. This is also to show you how to care about the community and how we're willing to invest in making sure that we can grow it. What happens when they do their plan? EA has a plan to make Battlefield a yearly game. Yearly game. So if they do a yearly game, they're never ever going to fix this game. Well, they're fixing this one. But when the next Battlefield comes out, if it's Battlefield 7, and Battlefield 7 comes out, let's say in 2028, right? Let's just say 2028, Battlefield 7 comes out. And then it's broke, buggy, and unfinished, and they're like, oh, we're working on it, we're fixing it. And then Battlefield 8 comes out the following year, and then Battlefield 9 comes out the following year after that. It's like, when are you going to fix this game? They're never going to fix the game. They're trying, do you understand what they're trying to do here, right? They're trying to win you back. They thought they had you back. You paid money for it, but then it went off a cliff. Okay? I mean, you can see it. It went off a cliff. Right? 747,000 people. You got 11 million people that bought it just on PC. An additional like 9 million. They had like 20 million copies sold on console. So if we just triple this, 150,000 people peak, let's say, between console, and they're just trying to win these players back. The people that are actually playing the game, which is crazy. It says, I think the reception for Season 3 was really good. Really good for Season 3. Well, is Season 3, is it launched yet? Is it about to launch? This is because we were showing the new features of our playtesting, and we're also thinking like, oh, when this goes live, it's going to be awesome. I have a lot of other features that we can't share, but it's also having the same reaction. It's like, oh, this is the next playtest because it's very exciting. I don't think I need to read any more. Yeah. It's mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling to me, chat, that they don't know what to do. The fact that they already had the stuff planned. They were already working on big maps, and then we were asking for big maps, and like, yeah, we were already working on those. Why weren't they in the game from day one? It's a good question, right? It's a good question. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Roadkill says, Battlefield 6 was the best game in the world for like 6 months. I wouldn't say like 3 months. It was outperformed by Arc Raiders for a lot longer. Saint says it's easier to keep 50,000 players happy than 300,000. I think they love cash grabbing the public. Asher says much of the feedback is what gamers have been giving since Battlefield 4. Yes, and they still haven't fixed the goddamn netcode. Crowd says, by the way, Mike, have you seen the Supergirl? I'm hearing it's hot trash. What the hell is Gunn doing? Well, we can look at the box office. I think it crashed the box office this weekend, which is funny because I said it about a year ago that Supergirl would make 1/3 of the money that Superman made. Do the PlayStation 5 digital games sell out? Yes or no? No, digital games cannot sell out. Anyone saying that digital games sell out are retarded. You cannot sell out a digital game. Hence why Grand Theft Auto is selling as many as possible, because they don't want to print the games. They can just sell the digital version. And then down the road, if they want to make a physical copy, they could. But why would they if 40 million, 50 million people bought a digital copy? Just Enough says bug fixes or content to them. Yes. Alternate says, no wonder why Battlefield's in the state that it is in right now. Clip says, oh, you're talking about the comic. Michelle Little Beastie says, 30, I thought you should know my daughter and I decided on her Halloween costume this year. It was inspired us, so she's going as Concord. Nice. Is it like the actual box? Or a character from Concord? High guard still has my daughter traumatized. Is she going as the box? This is how woke people working at Battlefield 6 already ruined. I don't know if Battlefield 6 is woke, Jesse. I don't think Battlefield has anything to do with being woke. I have a more problem of Battlefield 6 not doing what they were supposed to do with Battlefield. They literally did a Trojan horse bait and switch with Battlefield. They marketed towards Call of Duty guys, and bravo to them, right? They got the people to buy the game. 20 million people. Okay, they did a very good job. But then they didn't change anything. They didn't fix anything. They don't have to at this point. 20 million copies. They're like, we're good. Why does a company, if people are already buying the thing, obviously the reason they're fixing it is to get that goodwill back. But if they already made all the money up front, they could take their sweet time. Because there's still going to be people buying the game. They've already made well over the profit. So everything is just bonus on top of that. They have a skeleton crew working on the game now. They have majority of the people working on the next Battlefield game. And again, we've read the article before. Battlefield wants a yearly release. Well, how is Battlefield going to have a yearly release if they can't even fix the first game within the first year? Michael says, I'm joking, but why is there a RAM crisis when you can just download more RAM? Jesse Max says they already ruined Battlefield 6 Portal. Yo, twice now they fucked up Portal. I will say something good about Battlefield 6. Are you ready for this? I didn't know about these people beforehand. Let me bring them up real fast. I'm a small channel, but I'm gonna give you guys. If you like old school YouTube content where people just had fun playing games, right? I want to show you this thing right here. I will put this. Let me put this in the description down below. Let's see. Steam settings. We'll watch just a little bit of the front part of this. And I'm gonna tell you what this is. This is from a content creator called Defend the House, right? Very entertaining. I've never watched them because they're not in my algorithm because I'm not playing Battlefield 6, right? So I happened to watch a Jack Frag video of Battlefield 6, him playing Red Spec solo, and then this came in my feed, and I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is genius." Now, you guys remember I talked about a show I watched years ago, and I still watch it. It's a fantastic show. It's called Taskmaster. Okay, well, Defend This House, okay, made a show, and this has got to be pretty good. It took them a long time to do this. Okay, they have 3 episodes now. It's a brand new series. It's called Battlefield 6 Taskmaster. Now, I might be mad at EA and what they do for Battlefield 6, and I'm not playing Battlefield 6, okay? But I still love the Battlefield series, and I love what these guys are doing right now with this. If you guys have ever seen Taskmaster or know what Taskmaster is, these guys have made a Taskmaster show, but inside Battlefield 6, and this has taken a long time for them to do it, set it up, film it, but they're using Portal for it, okay? I'm going to play a little bit of here, and you can watch and see what it is, okay?
Light. Oh. If I cannot destroy it, I will remove it.
More hair! We need more hair!
This is going horribly wrong.
Oh god, this is so scary.
I'm a professional, I know what I'm doing!
This is probably the best I think I've ever done.
Hello and welcome to a brand new series for the channel and inspired by the real thing. It's Defend the House's Taskmaster. We hope to apply this concept to all sorts of games, new and old, and for years to come, so please let us know how.
I think this is genius, by the way. If you guys haven't seen Taskmaster, basically what Taskmaster is they bring in 5 comedians, okay? It's a British show. They have other versions of it, but it's a British show. They put 5 contestants in front of them. They filmed the entire season of tasks, okay? And then they bring them into a live studio audience, and they're watching what they've done for the first time against the people they competed against. And they get random points to win, okay? They've taken the Taskmaster formula, and they've turned it into this for Battlefield 6.
You think it all turned out in the comments. For our first episode, we've selected 5 brave members of our Patreon community to join us as our first ever contestants who will compete across 5 tasks and be crowned a winner. So let's meet them all. We have Duck from the US.
Hello.
Dave from the UK.
Hello.
Gabe from Brazil.
Yay.
Screen Fun Fan from Germany.
Hi.
And Ben from Canada.
Hello.
With quick intros out of the way, we figured let's just jump right into the action with our very first task.
We're not gonna watch this. We're not gonna watch this whole thing. I'm just showing you what it is. I want you guys to go watch it if you're interested.
All right, Ben, this here is my friend the Task Man. And he's going to give you the task. Please read the task out loud for us all, and you can begin whenever you'd like.
Okay, so they have to read a task, and they have to do it whatever's on the task. Okay, whatever it says on the card is what they have to do, and they can justify what they think based on what the task is.
In 10 minutes, Joe will travel down the marked track.
Transform his track to make the worst track possible.
The longest time it takes for Joe to reach the end of the track wins.
Each time he leaves the track, 10 seconds are added.
Your time... Can I do anything before finishing that?
He's watched the show, that's for sure.
Please read the task.
I'll read the task. Your time starts now.
So a couple things to explain here. Joe has a lovely marked track, as you can see, and the contestants...
So the reason I bring this up is because we just talked about Portal, right? What these guys are doing with Portal makes sense, right? But people are not using Portal for what they want Portal to be used for. Now, these guys are making a TV show based off a TV show. And this makes sense. But there's more people not playing the actual game of Battlefield and just doing their own maps that they haven't put in the game to make it bigger maps for themselves. And fundamentally, Battlefield 6 is basically ruined Portal twice now for themselves.
All have 10 minutes to ruin it using whatever means they like. They've got access to the shed with a variety of tools in it that could come in handy, and behind the shed, a whole bunch of vehicles to play with as well. With that said, let's see how all 5 of our contestants got on with their 10 minutes of...
I just put their name in the chat. You can just click on their name and go to their channel.
Prep time.
Yeah, good luck, dude. Hey, could you not? Hey.
Oh, okay. I see.
We're just gonna start there.
Okay.
So you can see that each of them have a different mentality. One blows up the vehicle, other are trying to different ways, move the vehicle farther away as possible.
Be right back. Okay.
Yeah, why not? Let's take that and do something with it. So the track... Wait, so let me do the task again.
I need to make this difficult.
Yes.
How will I do that?
Oh, hey, I got one back.
Shit. Okay, so I'm allowed to use anything inside the shed?
All the information is on the task.
Oh, no, don't pull that.
Can I interfere while he's driving?
All the information is on the task.
Oh, okay. Well,
can I destroy his vehicle?
All the information is on the task.
God damn it, I knew that was coming.
The fact that the editing style, they have to capture every single person's POV. I respect this so much, coming from the television's background and movies, working on TV shows, how much time has gone into this for them to create something like this. And this is why I say it's like old school YouTube to me.
Is that doing anything? Oh.
You have unlimited ammo.
Ooh, okay, that's nice.
Oh, come on. I saw you do this in the videos. I know this is possible somehow. Wait, who brought this back here?
Oh, now this is interesting.
Hey.
What is it that you're thinking of here?
If I cannot destroy it, I will remove it. Here we go. Yeah, I hadn't thought of this, and now it's gonna be my thing.
Ah.
Fuck!
Yeah, you can only put 2 down or 3 down.
No! Blocking the tube.
I see him.
That's not gonna do anything to stop it. She's just there for the hydration. Stay hydrated, my fellas.
Thanks, I appreciate the thought.
Oh, this is way longer than I thought it was going to be. Block terrain, that's the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, I can only put 1. No! My whole plan.
Oh, hello. Sure.
Oh, he's bombarding the track.
That's doing nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
We are, dare I say, finding success. No! Wait, no, we're good. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Okay.
Here, so I'll fast forward just a little bit so you guys can see.
I'm gonna be happy with my result. I know it.
Man. Joe, do you want to say anything before we get into...
Yeah, well, I think we're all wondering the same thing, and that's, Ben?
Yeah.
Why didn't you get on the ATV?
Getting on it and driving it away just didn't sit right with me for some reason.
You had basically the least amount of time to set up, since you spent 4 of your minutes pushing it and then it exploded and respawned. But I will say, I thought you burying the ATV under tanks was pretty inspired and smart.
All right, we're going to start first with Dave, because he did it the way Joe and I sort of thought would be the right way to do it when we were designing this.
Yeah.
So this is his full run here. 3, 2, 1. Joe, begin your journey down the track.
I'm up.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, okay, it does suck already.
Okay, come here, Joe.
They did a good job destroying it.
I don't know where you are. Ah! Oh, God.
No. Okay, fuck it.
I'm up. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Oh.
So there you go.
I made it.
Across the...
I'm not going to show you guys anymore. Go watch it. It's pretty funny. They got 3 episodes, I think it's out. But that to me is very cool, because they're taking something that's behind a game, and you could do this in like Fortnite. You could do it in any kind of, Minecraft. Anything that you can like make a course or make something, you could do a show just like this, right? Or have something like this. That to me, Portal is awesome for stuff like this. But to sell the game what Battlefield was on Portal, I mean, you completely destroy what Battlefield is if everyone's playing what this is instead of, because remember when I first talked about Battlefield in the day, I was like, they're making skyscrapers and different things. That's not why people play Battlefield. Now, obviously, there are people that play Battlefield for things like this. But Battlefield itself needs to be large-scale maps, open warfare, hence why War Dogs is going that direction, because they know what people are missing. Okay? Regardless, go check out this channel. Go check out Defend This House and go watch the show. It's very, very entertaining. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of Mythbusters stuff, a whole bunch of stuff. So go check out the channel. Again, I'm just a small channel shouting out a large channel that people know about. He's almost got like 1 million subscribers and whatnot, but I didn't know about it because I didn't watch Battlefield 6 content. So now that I do, I've watched a lot of their stuff this past weekend. Very entertaining. Saint says, you'll learn soon enough that there's only a fine amount of pixels to go around. Soon, there won't be any left. Just Enough says, the bug fixes are passion projects because they made so much money. If it flopped, they would have just moved on. Exactly right. Exactly right. Which they've already kind of moved on because they made their money. They've moved on. They have a skeleton crew just making the fixes and stuff on Battlefield 6 now. Because you heard them. They already have the content like a year in advance. So they pack load the first year. Clip says, I noticed that I also do Mythbuster episodes. That's pretty cool. They came from our generation. Yeah. They do a really, really, really good job. So they found a fan in me. They found a fan in me. All right, let's check out Twitter. See what's happening on Twitter. Cover a lot of different stories this morning. Hightail got another update. Token. Marvel Token, right? Marvel Token added 4 new characters. They got Loki, Deadpool, Ghost Rider, and Blade in the game. And again, that game is shaping up to look pretty good with the amount of people they're putting inside the game, so that's good. Oh, that's what I wanted to do before we go. The box office of Supergirl. So Supergirl, okay, I'm not going to go watch the movie. Supergirl has a grand total of 68 million opening, 38 million opening day. Okay, 68 million world. I'm sorry, 38 million domestically opening weekend, 30 million internationally, which has made 68 million worldwide. What's going to happen now is it's probably going to have an 80% drop off, maybe more than an 80% drop off, maybe like an 82% drop off. So this number is dramatically going to go diminish even worse now, because now people that were interested in seeing it saw it, which is all the YouTubers, reviewers, and everything else. Now that the word of mouth is coming out, this is going to drop dramatically, and it'll probably make less than $200 million at the box office, which is pretty funny, because if it gets below or just above 200 million, I said over a year ago that they said, oh, this would be bigger than Superman. I said, no, Supergirl is not a popular character over Superman, right? There's so many issues with this. So many issues with this. Okay. One, Supergirl is not bigger than Superman. Okay. 2, you shouldn't have made the Supergirl movie the second film in your DC universe type of stuff. Shouldn't have done it. Now, they have a Clayface movie coming out, which will probably make money because it's a horror film, and they didn't spend $200 million making it. Okay. They spent a $167 million budget on this, and it's coming out that it might even be more than that. So they need to make somewhere around $600 million to be profitable with this movie, and that's not going to happen. Superman wasn't profitable. It was diminished returns, and that was, everyone's like, oh, it made money. No, it didn't make money. And now this one is not going to make any more close to the money. So, unfortunately, James Gunn, DC Universe, not doing so hot with the first movie and the second movie. And then next year, now the next Superman movie comes out, which probably won't beat the last Superman film. But again, this is what they do. They keep coming out with stuff that no one's interested in. Even the comic book of Supergirl wasn't a popular comic book. Okay. Now you could like Supergirl, but she doesn't come anywhere close to Superman or any other characters. This movie's on pace to be worse than Morbian. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Morbin, right? The I can't even think of the actor's name. The guy that plays Skeletor. I can't. Leno, right? He has like a curse, okay? And this movie's gonna do worse than that. Yeah, Morbius, thank you. I couldn't even think of the fucking name. I was like, Jared Leto, thank you, right? This is gonna do worse than that. This is gonna do worse than the Marvels, for God's sakes. Like, hold my beer. This is the Concord of superhero movies. Roic says the issue is that Lobo took over the movie. My friend watched it, and just for that, I hear Jason Momoa plays a great Jason Momoa. Lobo is Jason Momoa. I hear he does a great job. Michael says, hot take. Why not just give an individual DC movies and not a cinematic universe? It's a bold move. That's what they used to do with just the Superman films, right? You should just make a Superman. I don't know why they have to integrate. I get it because comic book fans like that stuff when they do crossovers and stuff, but I don't think they need to make a bigger story. But it would have been better if they did I don't know, different characters that people actually cared about for the DC universe. PS5 says Supergirl movie from the 80s. It's like that movie doesn't exist anyway. That movie only made 14. Well, you want to know a funny part here? Let's look at this, right? So let me bring up the Supergirl movie you're talking about. And this will tell you how popular. Now, obviously, the Supergirl movie from 1984 made a total worldwide of 14 million. Now, different times back then, but it was only in theaters for 3 months, right? 10 weeks. 10 weeks, and it made a grand total of $14 million. Now, obviously, this Supergirl movie is going to do much better than this, but this number here, okay, if with inflation, their total worldwide is higher than this number right here, or close to it. Now, obviously, this movie is going to make more money, but if you just look at this Supergirl compared to Superman, right? If we go back to Superman, go to let's go with 1983, Superman 3, because the other one came out in Superman, right? It made 80 million. Okay. So that's 1/4. Right? Well, less than that. Less than 1/4 of the total gross of Superman 3. And this is a terrible Superman movie back in the day. Well, now if you go to Superman, the newest one, this one made 618 million, which it didn't make money. Okay, it didn't make money because the budget's 225 million. Right? This had to make 800 million to make money. So this underperformed. So now Supergirl, not this one, but this one, is at 68 million. Their budget's at 167, which is less than Superman, but it's going to make way, way, way less than Superman did. And Superman made 618 million. Supergirl was going to make 180, maybe 210. It's not going to come anywhere close to what it is. And it's a shame. It's a shame. They shouldn't have done number 2 movie with Supergirl. Eldon says, I only wanted to see Jason Momoa in the movie. What did you think of the movie? You saw it? I prefer single movies with certain crossover movie. Class Man says, Morbius, thank you. I wonder what they continue the movie with her being drunk and coming back to get the dog from Superman. I think this movie takes place after the Superman film because she picks up the dog from Superman and then the stuff happens. Oh, yeah. Well, the Supergirl show, the first 2 seasons did really well. It's Morbin time. Yeah. They say that the dialogue and stuff is terrible. Some people say that she actually did a pretty good job as Supergirl. Again, I'm not going to watch it until it comes out into streaming services, which by this, it'll be on by the end of the summer. It'll be on a streaming service. Let's see. Superman was in theaters. Let's see. Superman was in theaters for 84 days. So almost a full 3 months. It came out on July 11th, and it ended on October 2nd. This one will be done in the theaters by end of August. Mando and Grogu, that's at 325. Man, I got to go back and see what I predicted. I'm pretty sure I'm like spot on almost spot on. It was in theaters for 38 days. It's still in theaters as of right now. It fell off the complete train, though. It hasn't broke $1 million in a week straight. Ellen says, I'm excited for Spider-Man. Now, you're gonna see articles being written, right, El Dente, that people are not going to the theaters and people don't go to the movies and they're racist and sexist because of Supergirl, right? And then what's gonna happen is Spider-Man's gonna come out and it's gonna break $1 billion. And then what are people gonna say? You know what I mean? Just like video games, just like music, just like movies, good TV shows, good music, right, are popular. Bad movies, bad music, bad television shows, okay, don't make money. And that's how things work, right? Jesse Max is 30. Speaking of the Secret Wars, have you heard about the R brothers are making a Secret Wars Part 2 rumors? I haven't followed any of that stuff recently. I like Batman, Matt Reeves' Batman. Thought it was good. Michael says James Gunn makes people fans of Snyder. They're going to say the same thing because Spider-Man is a white man. No, but I understand, but good things, I don't care if they call you sexist, racist, and misogynistic. What I'm saying is good things sell. People like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the biggest, most popular characters of any superhero across the board. He's going to break $1 billion. All right, it's 12:30. All right. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for 30 and Still Gaming. We'll play some video games tonight over there. I'm not sure what we're going to play, but we'll be playing something over on 30 and Still Gaming. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you very much. And we'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. If you're not back over here tonight, or I'm sorry, over on 30 and Still Gaming tonight, then we'll be back tomorrow right here on 30 NSG. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Alarm clock ringing at 5 a.m. Nobody slept, we're doing it again. Phones on fire, countdowns in the air. Everybody's watching, everybody's there. Preload, finish, snacks on the floor. Friends blowing on my phone at the door. The city's waiting, lights glow.